Now, moments ago, the state of Arkansas executed its fourth prisoner by lethal injection in just 7 days. 18 years ago, this man, Kenneth Williams, escaped from prison and killed a man who lived near that detention facility. During his escape, he was involved in a car wreck that killed another driver. Williams was initially serving time for killing a college cheerleader. Well, the family of one of his victims had pushed for clemency. They paid for Williams's daughter and granddaughter to fly to Arkansas so that they could say goodbye. You can see the two families here on your screens embracing in this video. It is very emotional, and it is all in the spotlight because Arkansas is racing to execute as many death row prisoners as it can before its supply of lethal injection drugs expires. Defense attorney Ambrosio joins me now to discuss all of this. Ambrosio, welcome. Good to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You make the point that it is not the execution per se that troubles you in this case of Kenneth Williams and what is taking place in Arkansas. It is the manner with which things are being conducted.
Right. The state of Arkansas is basically trying to kill or execute as many men as possible in a short span of time. We've never really seen something like this in the United States since the days of the Old West, when they would kind of hang men, en masse in front of a public square. And this is really happening in the same fashion. They're just going for all of them as fast as they can in front of all of us.
Some critics have used the argument that this fits the bill for cruel and unusual punishment. How so?
Well, I'm not sure if that's correct. I mean, there's a procedural problems with what they're doing in terms of appeals and rushing to have this done by a certain time. The cruel and unusual punishment part comes with whether or not the injection, that is the lethal injection, causes I don't want to say discomfort, but pain and anguish during the process in which these men die. That's really the issue. Now, part of the problem is also that since the pharmaceutical companies are no longer making these kind of chemicals to make the cocktail. The cocktail, thank you. There's an issue as to whether or not they've expired, whether or not they're still safe. I know it's ironic to think about a safe lethal injection cocktail, but that is part of the process.
We saw that one of the victims' family members paid for the granddaughter of Kenneth Williams, and there was a reunion that we just saw on the screens. Talk to us about how much that weighs into the whole decision for clemency. Do they consider the family's wishes?
They do, but not at this point. When a district attorney's office, and I was a homicide prosecutor and I tried death penalty cases as a DA, there's an entire process in which the DA's office, and usually the elected DA, determines whether a case is a death penalty case or not. Not all murder cases that are eligible for the death penalty are prosecuted as such. The DA will take into account what the family of the surviving family feels and wants in moving forward, because it's a very long process. A death penalty case that is from the beginning to an execution can be 30 years, can be never, because sometimes prisoners will die waiting execution, and some families just want closure. But at this point, with this particular case, there's a very big difference between the widow in Kansas and the widow in Missouri, right? Just because of the facts of the case of what he did in Arkansas, which was very deliberate, very specific, with a kind of this intent to go in to murder in his own home, as opposed to what happened in Missouri, which was an accident, that is, police chase. He had no intent to kill the man that he killed in Missouri. So these widows, although their pain is forever, are kind of weighed differently in the eyes of prosecutors and the governor of Arkansas.
Ambrosio, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.